Hey guys, so in this video I'll be talking about the relation between tobacco, cigar in that sense, usage by guardian deities such as Muniswarar, Madurai Veeran, karuppar, all these forms, and perhaps even some saints or incarnations like Shirdi Sai Baba. You must understand that anything that is revered as divine has a certain tendency to it. For example, let's take a look at the Vilva leaf, right? It is very auspicious in Shiva worship. So why is it so special? In fact, there are so many other plants and herbs around, and why is it Vilva so particular and it is said to be so close to Shiva? Why is it so? Because Vilva has a special tendency that none other object or none other plant or herbs has. In the sense that a Vilva leaf is able to retain the energy of Shiva for a long period. To quote an instance, if you had gone to any temples and in the process of Abhisheka or offering, when they have offered a Vilva to a Shivalinga, and after a period of time, if you bring back the Vilva and keep it yourself, you can feel the energy radiating from the Vilva leaf, meaning the Vilvam has already retained the energy when it was exposed to the Shivalinga. So Vilva has this ability, it can retain it up to about 6 months, quite a long period, right? This is why they commonly advise you to put the Vilva leaf that you have obtained from a temple in your wallet or somewhere that you can carry it all the time, so that you get exposed within the field, that divine field and radiation. Another example would be Rudraksha. So what is a Rudraksha? Basically it's a fruit, right? A fruit which is later on dried, processed to form beads. So Rudrakshas are almost synonymous to Shiva himself, or the energy or aspect of Shiva itself. So basically, because Rudraksha itself, despite being despite the existence of so many other fruits, so many trees, this Rudraksha is so unique that it is the only object that can radiate a particular kind of energy that brings you close to the aspect of Shiva. Tobacco too has that special tendency in the sense that so let's just look at a view from a common person. So what happens when normal, as we can see, many people who smoke tobacco, what do they experience? They experience a sense of getting high, right? A sense of bliss, euphoria, and importantly, all this is caused by a sense. All this feeling, the bliss, euphoria they experience, is due to a feeling of loosening with the sense of identity with the body and mind. So they go beyond the body and the mind. They sort of loosen up. This is why they feel a sense of floating. So now let's look at what happens during sadhanas, or what we refer to as the energy of Shiva. Now, for if you ask most of the Shiva devotees in the worship of Shiva, the experience is very much similar to what we see in tobacco, which is not basically getting high, but rather a feeling of going beyond the body and the mind. You start realizing, or the awareness that you are not the body, you're not the mind, you're something beyond. The unbig consciousness slowly starts rising in you, be it in meditation or this form of samadhi. Different spiritual levels, different experiences, is basically relating to the separation or loosening of bondage with the body and the mind, or perhaps disidentifying yourself with the body and the mind, and rather merging with the whole consciousness, the ultimate consciousness of the universe, meaning from individuality to wholeness. So that is what is being experienced, right? So this is very much close with what we see in tobacco. So why do these deities love or strong bonding towards tobacco? Is because of this aspect of it. Most of the guardian deities, or perhaps all the guardian deities, are an expression of Shiva Tattva. They express the aspects of Bhairava, which is also a Shiva Tattva, a principle of Shiva, an expression of Shiva's energy. So this is why they revere tobacco so much, because of its quality it has. It's not about morality. Society or societal understanding can just label anything as bad and good, but in divine understanding, there's nothing as bad and good. It's just all about consciousness. The understanding all actions are taken based on consciousness. Consciousness is about your understanding, your awareness, your maturity. So your actions are based on that. So another thing is, why do guardian deities use it, right? So it is used to also help devotees in the sense that um, by burning the devotees' karma, sometimes the deities in trance sessions or even when they were physically present, they use these tobacco smokes to burn the karma of devotees. And also, even if you look closely, if you have gone to some of the trance sessions of guardian deities such as Muniswaran, Karuppar, or Madurai Veeran, you might have seen that they inhale the cigar and they blow it upon the face of devotees, right? And the feeling is that not that of a common feeling of cigar. It's not really common, but it's more of a divine feeling based on the devotee's experience. So this is to heal any diseases, to heal any ailments, or basically in correcting some um, fault or some incompletion that the devotee is experiencing. When you're exposed to tobacco, when you smoke cigar, it has the tendency to sort of get you high, and it sort of loosens yourself, your identity with the body. But there's a problem here is that we should understand or should take care, is that tobacco can be also disabling, because when you use it without awareness, without the particular awareness or consciousness, when you're not mature enough and you use it, it becomes an addiction, meaning you are not aware of where it's bringing you. You just blindly use it because it gives a sort of bliss, but you do not know where this bliss is coming out from or what further progress you should do, and you're sort of blank. You're just there for the pleasure. You're just there in the sense of getting the pleasure derived from smoking tobacco. Whereas in authentic sages, when you see Aghoris and these authentic Aghoris and sages, when they smoke, it's a bit different. They are using these substances in that correct consciousness and maturity. They are matured enough, spiritually matured enough to understand the natures of these substances, and it's not for pleasure. They are not doing it for pleasure, right? So this is the basic difference that lies between a conscious person using the tobacco and an unconscious person using a tobacco. So in this sense, the tobacco's usage, its effects are totally different from that of a common person using it. For example, even in Shirdi Sai Baba's life, there was an instance where he forces upon a cigar to a person having respiratory illness, perhaps pneumonia if I'm not mistaken, and the moment the person takes a puff, he gets cured out of his respiratory ailment. So it works in a different way. In common, layman understanding, we see that tobacco actually aggravates lung diseases, lung ailments, whereas in this sense it cures. So the way this consciousness, this high conscious deities or divinity, basically how divinity utilizes tobacco is far different from how human beings use it, and it's definitely not wise to just blindly follow or blindly copy just because particular deity, your favorite deity is using it, right? So this is basically why tobacco is so much revered in the worship of guardian deities, and with the proper understanding we can see as to how divine nature works, and how it is beyond human understanding. That's the beauty of our culture. It's not about morality. There's no moral here. It's all about consciousness. Your actions, your thoughts, your work is all based on consciousness. It's not about right or wrong. It's not about judgment. You don't judge anything right or wrong. So when we say tobacco, it's not about whether it's right or wrong, whether you are established in that consciousness to use it to benefit you, or if you're not in that consciousness, when it can harm you, why use it, right? So common people generally should not use tobacco, should not get into tobacco, as it can stray you away. When you get addicted, that's a big hell of a headache. And yes, that's about it. Hope this video was informative and gave a new perspective upon viewing the usage of tobacco by some deities or divine aspects. Thank you for watching.